Well, Riccardo Fabiani joins us now from London for some more analysis on this. He's a senior analyst at the Eurasia Group. Thank you very much for your time. Do you foresee a situation then where Western countries could commit ground troops to Libya?
I think it's relatively unlikely, the reason being that the National Unity Government is not very keen on a foreign intervention on Libyan soil. The reason is that the militias and ethnic groups and political parties that support these forming National Unity Government don't want any foreign troops on Libyan territory. Well, this means that basically a Western intervention in Libya is more likely to be limited to some form of indirect support, meaning weapons, equipment transfer to militias that are willing to tackle the threat posed by ISIS. But as far as a proper, full-on, on-the-ground military intervention is concerned, I think this is unlikely to happen.
Barack Obama says that the lack of planning post-Colonel Gaddafi in 2011 is his biggest regret in office. He also says that European countries could have done more. What should have been done differently?
I think the responsibility for what happened after 2011 should be shared among the Western governments that authorized the intervention against the Gaddafi regime. It's clear that there was a plan to topple the Gaddafi regime. Obviously, this was disguised as an intervention to protect civilians. But what is clear is that after the intervention itself, there was no plan to help the transition, to support the Libyan democratic transition. There was no clear thinking, no clear vision of how this should be achieved. The reason was obviously that the attempt to support the Iraqi transition after the intervention in 2003 had been previously heavily criticized, particularly by Obama himself and the Democratic Party. And obviously, the idea was to do something differently. So they wanted to avoid the mistakes made in Iraq, but by doing so, they basically opted for no support at all for the Libyan transition, which obviously only precipitated the crisis that it's still ongoing.
Was life better for ordinary Libyans under Colonel Gaddafi than it is now?
From a purely material, economic, and social perspective, probably the answer is yes. Obviously, from a political, the answer is no. From a political point of view, I would say that life under Gaddafi was obviously worse than it is right now. The Libyans have obtained, obviously, a degree of freedom and participation that was unknown previously. But if we look at the material damages, the economic breakdown and the social crisis that Libya is going through right now, obviously the picture is quite different, and one could argue that obviously Libyans were better off under Gaddafi. Obviously there's no clear answer to this question, and this is a really political debate that the Libyans themselves should have.
Okay, Riccardo Fabiani, thank you very much for your time and insight.